So hello everybody, and today we are 5 days out from my Swansea Half Marathon England v Wales international race. So today I'm going to take you on a mini taper session that I've planned to do, and I'm also going to talk about the new shoes that I've bought in readiness for Swansea Half Marathon, and I'm also going to take you through another aspect that I've added into my training in the last few weeks. So sit back and enjoy. Sunday's Half Marathon is the second out of 4 races that I'm doing this year for England Masters. I did the 5k a few weeks ago in Shrewsbury. In July I have the 10k, and then in October is the Abingdon Marathon. So today's session, it is 4 minutes threshold pace, and then I will have a 2 minutes recovery, a gentle jog. I'll do 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Then I'll have another 2 minutes recovery after that before doing a final 4 minutes of threshold pace. So this session we've nicknamed the threshold sandwich, but it's only a small sandwich today. Maybe 1 slice of bread instead of 2.
Yeah, maybe the sort of sandwich you get at a vicar's tea party, those sort of small dainty ones you aren't meant to gorge on. Or those expensive tea houses where you pay £30 for a small cucumber sandwich and a slice of cake. Anyway, back to the session. So Dawn's new shoes, yes, we've just done 1 whole mile warm-up in them, so well, that qualifies some YouTubers to elaborate on what they think of the shoes. So what are your thoughts on them?
They are beautifully spongy on first impressions, okay, so they're very soft. I would say that in terms of size, I've had to go up half a size from my normal 5.5 to a 6, and the reason I did that was because I know that when John bought his, we went over to a shop, he tried 2 pairs on, and he found that half a size bigger was much better than his normal size trainer. So I took a risk and went for the 6 instead of 5.5, and it was the right thing to do. So yeah, initial impressions, I feel good.
That's a detailed review, thank you for that, they feel good. So Andy Rayner, Tim Gross, get worried because Dawn's now reviewing trainers.
Hey!
So, updated training review after 1 mile and 4 strides. How did they feel at a faster pace?
You don't notice them actually. I wasn't actually focused on them, so they must be all right, because I didn't think this is pinching or that's a bit tight or that's a bit rubbing. So 1 mile, did you say 1 mile? Yeah.
That's right, we're on a mile.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to get one of them expensive sports watches.
I did, didn't I? Yeah, so now after 1 mile, 1 mile they feel okay. First 4 minutes, 7:20 pace, spot on. So the shoes bounce along nicely. Didn't even realise I have them on.
So there was 2.
So first one going up 6:31 and coming down 6:15.
Woohoo! Yes, with this old line climbing all the way out of Sheffield, up onto the peaks, then back down into Manchester, this bit is on a slight gradient, hence the discrepancy in Dawn's times. What I found over the years, if you run up and down here lots, and I must have done tens of thousands of miles up and down here, you will on average at the same effort level run 20 seconds a mile slower going in that direction towards Manchester as opposed to that direction towards Sheffield.
So 6:30 going up, 6:23 coming down. So having done the session in the shoes, I can honestly say that they felt good. They felt really quite soft on landing, spongy, propelled you forward nicely. I was just saying to John, I wear the Alpha 5s a lot in 5k races, and actually I don't think there's a lot of difference between the Alpha Flies and these in terms of the way that you propel forward. They have the similar kind of feel. Well, to me they do anyhow. Lockdown is great. Yeah, no problem with the laces whatsoever. No problem with the tongue. So yeah, all in all, they feel really good. So, session went okay. No complaints apart from still got this hamstring stroke glute stroke sciatic problem going on. And more about that later when I talk about the new thing that I've added to my program quite recently. So, my goals for Sunday are, so my A goal would be to run 1:35. Don't think it's going to happen. My B goal is to run anywhere between 1:35 and 1:37. My C goal will be to run 1:38, and my D goal is just to finish, and I will finish no matter what. Obviously we're in summer now, so everything depends on the conditions on the day. It's on the coast, so it could be very breezy. In fact, I've looked at the weather forecast and it does say there is going to be some sort of wind, so I don't know how that will affect my race on the day. And it may be warm, so these are all things to consider when you race in summer. So at the end of the day, you just have to put one foot in front of the other and do the best you can. Run to the conditions and run to how you feel, and that's what I intend to do. So now I'm going to show you the new element which I've introduced into my training in the last month. So I've had a long-term glute sciatic issue that affects my hamstring. Now this is down to age, wear and tear, and mainly comes from my lower back. I've been having ongoing treatment for this, and the advice is not to stop running. In fact, it's to keep active. But as well as the mobility and strength and conditioning I'm currently doing, I felt I needed more. I needed a more specific S&C program. This was especially important as my mileage starts to increase, because that's when I feel the most discomfort on my long runs. So what happened next? I booked an appointment with a local strength and conditioning and running coach, Jess, who also has her own YouTube channel. So I met Jess down at a local gym, and she initially did a few assessments on me, looking at my balance, my mobility, my coordination and my strength. This was to enable her to be able to write a program that would work on my weaknesses. And here you can see Jess checking out my hip mobility. So here you can see Jess checking my technique on monster walks and then showing me exactly how to do them. Because strength and conditioning is also about doing the technique correctly. In fact, you can do yourself some harm if you don't do the technique correctly. And here she's seeing how far I can squat. I can say it's not that far at all. And here she shows me how to do that correctly. So one aspect of this program is plyometrics, and here you can see Jess watching me do double leg pogos. And then we move on to the single legs. So Jess got me to do some death jumps, and the aim of these was that I had minimal contact with the ground. So here Jess got me to do some barbell box squats, and the aim of these was for me to keep my feet shoulder width apart, to have a very controlled descent and a strong drive upwards. You can see that I wasn't too good at this to begin with. However, Jess talked me through how to do this with the correct technique. We then moved on to Romanian deadlifts, and Jess did demonstrate how to do these, which was hips backwards, soft knee bend, keep the chest open, the bar close to the legs. It did take me a few goes to get this right. In fact, I needed some extra support here to get the technique right. We then moved on to doing some box step-ups, and Jess demonstrated what she wanted me to do. Now, I'm not normally this bad, but for some reason I couldn't get my balance on this occasion. So I've since practiced and I'm much better at it now, and I avoid letting that leg giving me too much support. And I'm also controlling the descent better. Moved on to the other side, and I did find that side much easier to control. I think we all have a stronger side. We then moved into side leg raises with a resistance band, and the aim here was I had a slight pause on the up before bringing it down. So a little bit of practice to get my balance, and yes, I found this one relatively straightforward. So the next exercise was called resisted hip flexion. You can see here I have a kettlebell on my foot, and it is 4 kilograms, and I was to maintain a steady tempo throughout this one, slow eccentric movements, working my hip flexor and my glutes. We then moved on to single leg calf raises, and again using a 8 kilogram weight, and this was a slow eccentric exercise too. And finally we moved on to looking at my core, and we decided to use the ab roller, and in all honesty I've not used one of these for years, but I did love it. And as Jess demonstrated to me, the trick is to go down nice and steady and to control using your core to pull yourself back up. And you can see here I'm giving it a go. Now I do have quite strong arms and a strong core, so I did find this exercise relatively okay to do. Jess then set me a 6-phase program that will take me up to my October marathon. So thank you, Jess, that was mighty useful, and we'll leave a link to her website in the description below. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give us a like. And wish me well for Sunday. We will of course try to get the video out as soon as possible after the race. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.